In this video, I'm going to outline and explain the underlying mechanism and driving force that causes people to want to do drugs. Now, the drive to want to change our consciousness, the drive to want to be free from certain things that are going in our body, it's not inherently a negative thing. It's just that the methods that we may have available to us are not really ideal or not really sustainable for the long term. So the model that I'm going to be using to really work with and explain this idea is a model called the 8th Circuit model of consciousness. And it was developed by Tim Leary back in like the 60s or 70s, popularized by Robert Anton Wilson and a few other authors. Now obviously all of these characters that I just mentioned have their own strengths and weaknesses. None of them are perfect, and that's really not the scope of this video. But this model is very useful for people who want to really understand the brain, understand consciousness in a really easy and flexible way. So I'll post a link below to to that to where you can see what I'm talking about, because if you're not familiar with it, it might sound a little bit weird. However, it is a little bit common sense. So essentially, why people have this desire and drive to change their consciousness through consuming a substance is because they get temporary freedom and liberation from their initial imprints and their lower circuits, meaning their parts of their brain or their consciousness that are concerned with, biosurvival, or the emotional kind of territorial circuit, or also our time-binding semantic circuit, meaning, language. Today is March 3rd, etc. I mean, you talk about, or you speak to anyone who's done these things, and they always speak of, this timelessness, or, time disappearing, etc. So it gives us freedom from these three circuits, as well as a degree of calming down our kind of social pressures that we're feeling. So it's a way of kind of liberating ourselves from society, from culture, from time and space, and from the worries of survival in our emotions. Which is why people feel so good when they do it, because it opens up what's called the 5th circuit, and this 5th part of our consciousness, which is concerned with just kind of bliss and being in the present moment. And it's the awareness that, meditation and yoga really tries to bring in the person. So that's the underlying idea and driving force as to why people want to consume these substances. Now, obviously, while that desire might be very positive and really can make a person grow, there's also some negative side effects, meaning number one, these effects and these experiences are not permanent. Sure, you can have an insight which will then change your psyche in perhaps a positive, permanent way, but typically what happens is we can look at these things kind of like a raft, meaning you're on one side of the shore and this thing is getting you to the other side of the shore. But what happens is people get to the other side of the shore and they get back on the boat and they go back, and they get back on the boat and they go back. And they just get caught up and think the raft is what it's all about. But in reality, it's just to get to another shore. Another way to put that is when you get the message, hang up the phone. That's the way Alan Watts put it. Alan Watts was a great philosopher, and he tried and experimented with many of these substances to see how they would compare to the kind of Eastern mystical experience. And that was his end conclusion is, yeah, these things are fun and they can expand your mind temporarily, but when you get the message, hang up the phone. So that's the first thing. The second is that these substances are not tonic herbs, meaning they're not safe to consume over long periods of time, and there will be side effects, mentally, emotionally, physically, or spiritually. Whereas, just a quick definition, is a tonic herb is something you consume on a regular basis over the long term, and it's going to gently tonify a body system. It's generally going to nourish your body, but it's not going to throw you out of balance or cause side effects or allergies like, say, some other herbs might. So those are some of the drawbacks. But the good news is there's actually better means to achieve this freedom and this liberation from our imprints. It just takes more time, energy, and effort. Meaning things like yoga, things like Tai Chi, things like all these different kind of arts can help a person move through these imprints and break them up, and over time gradually see the world from a bigger and more broader point of view, which is really the end goal. And it's also beneficial because it's actually sustainable and realistic for the long term. So hopefully that's explained to you and illustrated for you the underlying mechanism why people have such a drive for these things and why these substances are so ubiquitous and widespread in our culture. I mean, people think, oh, these things are illegal, they must be hard to get. Not really. I mean, there's so many people, millions and millions of people right now taking these substances, but some of them are having positive experiences, some of them are having negative experiences. We hear about this all the time, but what we need to realize is that, number one, these things are just a raft. They can be a nice little preview. Sometimes they can really help people, sometimes they can really hurt people. But we need to realize that there are better alternatives, and this drive and this desire to expand and open our consciousness is not a bad thing. We just need to understand and find the best means and the most sustainable, common sense way to actually do this. So hopefully that's been helpful for you. For some reason, I've been getting a lot of questions lately about people wondering what I think about these psychedelic drugs and these different substances. This is just kind of a little nutshell about how I feel about them because it's a huge subject. So if you have any questions or comments, post them below, and I'll talk to you soon.